Hello guys, and today I'm going to be showing you two different techniques, one with the spinner and the bent hook, and one with the straight hook that I will do by hand. So with the spinner, with the things that you would need, you're going to need of course, your elastic string or whatever string you want to use, whatever gauge you want to use is fine, whatever, millimeter, whatever. I have my spinner with beads already loaded. We're going to do a Halloween bracelet. And I also have this little cup with another one for the straight needle. The straight needle is this one right here. And the curved needle is this right here. I've used this a couple times, so it's all bent now. It's bent exactly how I would be applying this. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to thread the hook, the hook needle, and you can see that the opening for that hook needle is right here. I hope you guys can see that right there. And if it's too close for you, because I know I'm getting a little older and sometimes that opening it evades me, so what I usually do is I take a pair of pliers and I go in there and I open it up just wide enough to be able to put what I need to put in, and I have a wider opening. Trust me, that opening will close as you go ahead and bead your bracelets. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put put the elastic in. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my elastic, and I use a different technique than most people do because I don't like to pull my beads off of the string. I pull it out a lot longer than what I need. I use clay beads. So they do fit down over the doubling, but if I'm going to put a charm on or something like that, I would have to undo it to put that. Okay, so this is the needle. We already threaded it. We pulled that through, and what I use is a simple clip. It's a clip that came with a set that I bought for a dish of utensils, but it's just a little potato chip back. You're going to take that and clamp that down right there. Now we'll go ahead and come back up here, and you want to find that perfect spacing. Oh, got to plug up my spinner. That might help. So you want to put enough beads in there to be able to catch with the spinner. I know one side of mine looks empty, but because I've done it for a while, you know, it'll spread. I know that it'll spread out as I go. So you want to take your needle and you take the hooked end that's not threaded, and you want to put that into the bowl. But let's go ahead and turn the bowl on. I use the fastest speed because to me it helps a lot better. So, but you can use whatever speed makes it nice for you. So you want to be able, you don't want to scrape the bowl because you won't get as many beads. What you want to do is be able to just scrape the surface of the beads themselves. When you get this on here, you just pull that down. And because we have the clip on, it's not going to come off. See that? Well, I'll show you later how we're going to get all of that to be the right length. Came off, so let's put that back on. Okay, so now we'll go ahead. We're gonna pull our first strand down. We're gonna also make sure you have your measuring board somewhere around you to be able to use it, to make sure you don't do too many beads. So we're doing Halloween bracelets, and I want to make sure I incorporate all of the colors that are usually considered Halloween. Now, as the beads get lower, you'll start to notice that you're not catching as much, but don't get discouraged. Even if you're only catching one or two, it's easier than putting it on with your hand, and it goes pretty quick, especially if you're making something small like bracelets or something like that. So we want to try to get that in the curve a little bit with the hook turned towards the going into the way that the bowl is going. It's going to the right, so I want my needle pointed to the left. And sometimes they do fall off. It's okay. You pull them back on there, you throw it right back in the bowl, and you keep going. So put those back in there. And we want to keep going with that bracelet. Every bracelet, because you are using the bead spinner, it's going to come out differently. But you want to use the same color beads when you're, especially if you're selling them or selling them in a set or giving them away in a set. You want to use the same color beads on the bracelet when you sell it. So I'm gonna get that on. And see how I'm pulling in a lot less than I had the first time. but it's still going on there with no problem. And we've only been doing this for a few minutes, and I'm over halfway done with the bracelet. So I want to take this chance right now to show you guys how to put on accessory like beads with the smaller holes when you use this technique. So we have that pulled all the way down. We're going to turn off our spinner and put it to the side. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up that clip, take it off, pull those beads all the way down past the shortest piece of string. Once you have that, it is on there, and this gauge string is a little too big to be able to use the hook itself with it to pull it down over. It makes it a lot more difficult for me. So what I do is I unthread the needle, I take that in, and whatever charm I'm going to use, I go ahead and I thread that in there. Now be careful if you're using a particular one that has to go a certain way. Be careful of how you use it. This one right here, this charm right here, when I use it, I normally will put it on other hooks in order to have a little dangle. But because we're doing this right now, I'm not gonna pull those out. I'm just gonna show you guys how to get that on there. So instead of just putting that itself, let's put some other stuff. I have some pearls here. These pearls have pre-drill holes in them for beading. So I'm going to put a pearl on. And then I have some gold accessory, little gold stars. So we'll put those gold stars on. Little gold stars that have a little opening in it. So you're going to put it in the opening. Now that we have that on there, that looks kind of cute. Let's look at it. I have a bead in the pearl. Now we're going to put this. We're going to put the starfish on. And then we'll go back and put in the bead. We're going to follow the pattern how it is in opposite. So we have the gold star. So we're going to put the gold star on. Make sure you put, I always make sure I put it from this way to this way, from the left to the right or right to the left. Whatever hand is your dominant hand, you'll find it easier to do it that way. And we're going to put on the pearl. Okay, we have that on, which is pretty cute. Pretty cute. So what we're going to do now, I like to use a lot of different colors when I'm creating something. So what we're going to do now, we're going to rethread our hook because we're not done. That will be midway point of the bracelet. And I'm going to show you how to adjust that size just in case you put too many beads on. That's why it's very important to have that extra string. This is still hooked to the roll, by the way, people. I haven't cut anything yet. So now that I have half the bracelet up here, what I'm going to do is go right to the end of the bracelet where it ends at and take the string, put it here and clasp the string again with my potato chip clip. And you want to do it this way so it's not giving you any interference. You can move that. You can roll the extra string back up so it won't go too far down and dangle down and stuff. Move that to the side. Now we're going to continue doing what we were doing. We'll go ahead and start again. And see, in a minute, that's when your measuring board is going to come into play, because you can do this while you're measuring. Some people say this is an extra step that I add in on my own. But I'm such a perfectionist. This is the way that goes best for me. I don't know why my sleeves won't stay up. So here we go. We're going to put a little bit more. And when it gets low, it gets a lot harder to get the beads on there. But still, I still get as many as I can. before I start see, that's not that many, but still we got a few in. I'm trying to get a few more in there. Okay. Be careful because it will fall back off. And I don't know if that's because of design or just how I am beading. But I noticed that towards the end of the bracelet, I always have a problem keeping the beads on the needle. But it's a very relaxing thing to do. All right. Push that back. There we go. A little bit more and we'll be done. So I put this bag. And let's pull those down past the clip and see where we're at. All right. So let's run it. So what I do now when I get to this point is I pull out my measuring board. Here we go. Measuring board. Move stuff to the side. And we're going to take and put the bracelet on the board to measure it out. Okay, so it's not quite 7 inches. It's too big for 6.5. It makes it right at 6.5. So right here you can see on the board it's a 6.5. So since that's okay, now I'm gonna take the board, put it back up, and I'm gonna show you guys how to tie off the bracelet. Okay, now we have all this extra string. What are we gonna do with it? Of course, we're gonna take and move it all the way up as close as we can. I like to leave about this much on the ends, about that much on the end from where the bracelets, where the beads are, just to keep it from falling out. So you don't even have to take it off of the string to tie it. You can leave it on the string. Take this, put it up underneath there, pull it until it's tight. And then what I do is I take it and I tie it again. I'll do a short on how to tie this string. Pull that tight. And right now, if you have glue or something like that's when you want to use your glue. You can use jewelry glue or any kind of glue you want. I particularly use nail glue. I always have it. It works just the same. I've never had a problem with it. So now that I have it tied twice, what I want to do is go back and tighten that string. Because when you let it go, it's going to come loose. It's going to come apart. You want to take that. And I know there's another glue out there that's better than nail glue, but this is what I use. You guys, please use your own glue. You want to put a little drop in there and pull that back tight. Sometimes I'll even use a blow dryer to get that as dry as possible. And then I have these great scissors that came along with my kit. It keeps me from opening my hand too far, and I can get very, very close. That bracelet is still, it's a little sticky, so I would blow dry that. I would take a blow dryer and set it on a cold temp, and I will blow dry that to make sure that it's dry. So I'll tighten it again. I'll make sure it's tight. So I'm going to go, what I do is cut it as close down as I can without actually cutting the actual knot itself. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to cut it here. There's my knot. You can't see it. There's my knot. My knot is right there in between. So what I'm going to do is take it, I lay it across my hand, hold the string across my finger this way, and I'm going to cut it as close down as I can on either side. It doesn't matter which side you cut first. And then we're going to take and pull those beads over the knot as much as we can. Okay? So now we have a Halloween bracelet. And these can be used, you can have all of it. Say you're taking a group of kids out, and you know, a lot of times on Halloween, kids dress just alike. You can take this bracelet, put it on each one of the kids, and that way you don't have to see which clown is your kid or which mermaid is your kid, whatever it is, to keep them marked and identified. This is why I make the Halloween bracelets. But see, I also don't like how that's sitting. So what I'll do later is take and put that on a dangling little dangling chain, and have that better off in there. But this is the Halloween bracelet. It's very pretty. I'll take some pictures of it later and put it at the end of the video. But it's a very good bracelet. Now say if now tune in for part 2.